What if one podcast episode could make a real difference? That's the idea behind Podcasthon 2025, an international movement where podcasters across the globe, including myself, unite to shine a spotlight on causes that matter with over 1,600 shows from 47 countries. That's pretty amazing. This initiative brings us together for one powerful purpose-driven week of audio storytelling. This episode is part of that wave. I'm a little bit late. I've had a lot of things to do. But anyway, let's continue. There were so many charities to choose from. It really was hard to choose. But I thought right now we could use a little bit of extra laughter. In challenging times, joy can feel out of reach. But sometimes a single shared laugh can lift the weight of the world. Have you ever been in a really stressful situation and then something unexpected or silly happens and then suddenly you're laughing? Like the kind of laughter where your shoulders drop, your breath changes, and for a moment the heaviness lifts. I know I've been there. I've had moments of crying laughter at funerals. I know it doesn't sound very appropriate, but you could be with people grieving and sharing stories of a loved one, and someone shares either a story that you've forgotten about or you didn't know, or just a favorite, and all of a sudden you're just laughing as you remember them. There is something incredibly human about that. Laughter often sneaks in when we need it most, and the science is catching up with what we've always known. That laughter doesn't just feel good, it does good. So today, as part of Podcasthon, I've chosen to dedicate this episode to clown doctors. And instead of just doing a normal episode and then mentioning them at the end or just putting them in the notes, I actually thought, why not look into the work that they do? And they do laughter. I mean, how great is that? So let's start with what happens in the body when we laugh. When we laugh, our brain releases a cocktail of feel-good chemicals, endorphins, dopamine, and oxytocin. And these act like natural painkillers, especially endorphins. They act like natural painkillers, which is pretty amazing. Dopamine gives us that little reward high, and oxytocin, that's a bonding hormone. And that helps us feel close to people. I mean, how great is that? When we laugh, we can feel good, feel rewarded, reduce pain, and feel connected. Laughter also reduces cortisol, and that is our stress hormone. So a meta-analysis, a big scientific paper, and you can go look that up. It's pretty cool. Found that laughter interventions can actually reduce cortisol levels by as much as 32%, which is pretty significant. Even physically, laughter supports heart health by improving good blood flow, and it's been linked to improved immune function. So yeah, when they say laughter is good medicine, it's not a cute saying, it's actually backed by evidence. Beyond that, laughter plays a big role in our relationships, and I've spoken about the importance of laughter and using it as a tool, not in an insensitive way, but to improve how you handle conflict, how you repair in relationships, and also ways to create more friendship in your couple relationship or in other relationships. So laughter is really important. And think about your closest friendships or relationships. Chances are that laughter is a part of what holds you together. Inside jokes, shared silliness, the ridiculous things you say when you're overtired. Laughter can help create a sense of connection, a sense of us. It's also incredibly important during conflict. Sometimes a well-timed joke or moment of lightness can actually shift the tone of a tense conversation. It can break the pattern, soften defenses, and remind us that we're on the same team. And again, you want to do that sensitively, but it can be really helpful, especially when you can maybe acknowledge the weird things that you're doing and be like, oh my God, this is classic Marie, I've done this again, I've put my foot in it. Having some go-to things that talk about what you've done wrong or how you've messed things up. I know I have several of them with my partner, and I've got several different inside jokes with friends, and it can really lighten the mood and it can really ease some tough conversations. You still have them, but humor can be really important. Of course, it does matter how humor is used. Laughing with someone is very different to laughing at someone. But when used gently and respectfully, laughter can be a powerful repair tool, and it can help us come back to a sense of connection. In families, especially with teens, being able to laugh together can build trust and ease pressure. Humor becomes a way to connect without needing everything to be serious or intense all the time. So one of the clearest examples of the power of laughter in tough moments is the work of the clown doctors. These aren't just people dressing up to be silly. They are trained performers who work in hospitals, bringing laughter to kids, families, and even medical staff. Their goal is to ease anxiety, distract from pain, and bring comfort through connection. In Australia, the clown doctors have been working since 1996, inspired by the original work of Patch Adams and similar programs in New York. You might remember Patch Adams from the Robin Williams story. There was a beautiful video, how dagging old am I, a movie called Patch Adams, and Robin Williams played this inspiring doctor who created ways to connect with patients through humor and being silly. And there's this beautiful scene of him creating like a swimming pool full of like spaghetti or pasta noodles or something for a lady to swim in. And it's actually such a delightful movie. I highly recommend it. But this is what inspired the clown doctors, and the results have been remarkable. Less anxiety before procedures, more cooperation during treatment, and a sense of relief that families often say is priceless. They've even used it in forensic settings, helping children through really difficult medical assessments by reducing fear and offering emotional release. It's a powerful example of how laughter, even in clinical or traumatic spaces, has a place. How can we bring more laughter into our everyday lives? Notice the funny moments. They are the often small and easy to miss moments. Mine are often around my dog doing weird things and just taking a moment to laugh at them. It does bring a lot of joy, especially when he's at the dog park and doing weird things with other dogs. It's absolutely hilarious. We can be playful on purpose. You don't have to force a laugh, but you can create conditions for it. Watching something silly, sending a funny meme or something to a friend, or playing a ridiculous game can be great. I love Pictionary or anything like that when, you're under pressure and you're a terrible drawer and you've got to guess and people are trying not to use their words, and it's really funny. Use humor in relationships, especially as maybe a way to repair. It doesn't mean avoiding serious stuff, but sometimes a shared laugh reminds us of connection. And surround yourself with people who make you laugh. That's not shallow. It's deeply good for your well-being. Look, laughter won't fix everything, but it does help. It can reconnect us with our bodies, our people, our community, and even offer a sense of hope. So this week, I invite you to notice laughter, create space for playfulness, and maybe reach out to someone who makes you laugh. Go watch a show together, watch a funny movie, go to a comedy show or something like that. It'll be amazing. And if you want to learn more about the Clown Doctors or support their work, I've linked their info in the show notes. Thanks for listening to this, bonus episode. And thank you to Podcasthon for inviting a whole bunch of podcasters to be a part of something bigger. We need more joy, and sometimes laughter is the best place to start.